Ben Luckens, welcome to the Business of Fitness podcast.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
I want to tell a story today. You've got an interesting story, and it's one that I think a lot of people can and will learn a lot from. And that will make sense as we go. But to start with, in 30 seconds or less, tell me about your business, Life's Peachy Fit. I want to know your USP, your unique selling proposition. Who is your business for? Who's your avatar? And what's your business model?
So Life's Peachy Fit is a strength and conditioning gym. Our USP is we offer our members the best team training experience in Australia. Our avatar is females around 35 years old, 1 to 3 kids. They can be stay-at-home mums or have a little side hustle going on at home and just want to hang out with their friends and work on their health and fitness. We also have a male avatar, 35 to 40 years old. They might be a tradesman and looking to, get rid of their dad bod and work on their fitness and join a healthy and fun community. We also have members outside that range as well, kind of typically between 20 to 50 years old, also in our late 50s as well. And our business model, we are a group class training gym and we have a recurring membership-based model.
Great. I love it. And I think as people will learn as we go today, the success of your business is in no small part due to how detailed your answer just was and how well you were able to answer that without even thinking about it. So hats off to you for that. I know it's something you've worked hard on.
Yeah.
This model, this avatar that you've just described to me, it wasn't always a vision or the vision for your business, was it? I mean, I know until recently, you actually had 3 separate fitness businesses. Can you tell me what those 3 were?
Yeah, so up until we did our changeover in April 15. Before that, we were F45 training in Byford, and we've also got F45 training in Kelmscott and a Life's Peachy. We were a CrossFit affiliate down in Kelmscott as well. So we've got the 3 businesses running.
Okay. And that takes me to, I guess, the punchline of what we're talking about today. And that is your story from being a franchisee with F45, from being an affiliate owner with CrossFit, now to forging your own path, doing your own thing your way. So I want to go back even further. I want to get your origin story. Take me back to the moment when you decided to affiliate with CrossFit first. Let's talk CrossFit. Why did you make that choice? What were you hoping being a CrossFit affiliate would bring you?
Okay. I might actually go a little bit further if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So I graduated university 2012 with my bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science. I always had a love for health and fitness. And after that, I just worked with my dad in his business, just laboring for a few years. But although I enjoyed what I did, I knew it wasn't right. And I always had that entrepreneurial mindset. I think, definitely passed down from my parents. And it was the end of 2016. My best mate actually told me about F45 training. And I found the closest one. It was 15 minutes from work in Coburn and went and did a class. And at that time, I'd done a bit of CrossFit before and some CrossFit classes. And so I went and joined the F45 class and instantly fell in love with how well it was structured, how much fun the workout was. And I left there feeling wicked. So that kind of started the research into owning my own F45. And just a couple months later, we opened the doors in 2017, F45 Byford. We had a massive success within the first 8 months. We were doing sort of 700K revenue. And the mentor I had at the time, she was really good. I learned a lot from her and she kind of pushed me to open up another premises. So that less than a year later, we opened F45 Armidale. And we kept going with our success. A year and a bit later, 2019, we opened F45 Kelmscott. And then in 2020, we all know what happened there. Threw a couple of stunners in the works. And when we opened back up from the lockdowns, we started to do a few changes. So we closed F45 Armidale. And at the same time, my manager down there and I started Life's Peachy Fitness. at the time we were just a functional training gym that ran classes, pretty much CrossFit, but we weren't affiliated at the time. And about a year later, we decided to affiliate our gym, and we became Life's Peachy CrossFit. And yeah, so we were running CrossFit for a couple of years there, and we were hoping with the affiliation that we would attract a few new members who were looking for a CrossFit specific gym, especially that the closest one at the time, I think it was a decent radius, like 15 kilometers away. So that was the main reason. Obviously, we were training CrossFit style. And yeah, we recently, the last couple of months, we decided not to continue with our license. The main reason being they put the prices up 30 to 40%, and we just didn't see the value. And just decided to cancel our license.
So I think you've got a pretty unique perspective here. I don't think there are many people who have experienced the inner workings of both that CrossFit license type model and also that F45 franchise model. I'm interested to know, as someone who's been a part of both, how would you compare them? Are there pros and cons of each, the franchise versus the license, as the business owner?
Yep. So I would say if you're new to business, especially fitness business, I think a franchise model, especially if you get into a growing and kind of a hyped up franchise, is a really good way to go, just because with a franchise model, it's very systemized. And what I've found myself is jumping, even though I was around business growing up as a kid and into my 20s, I didn't really know how to run a business. And it's not until you open the doors and you start to lead a team, you have to look after members, all the intricacies with running a business. Yeah, you don't really understand until you're in the thick of it. And I think with the franchise model with F45 in particular, it was really good at systemizing a lot of things. So it made it a little bit easier to run a business, and it enabled me to kind of learn on the fly whilst being in the business. And then if you compare that to a license model, you're basically just, it's a little bit, it's not as expensive. You don't have to pay as much as a franchise model. Typically now, most franchise models are revenue percentage based. When we started, we were lucky it was a fixed rate. So we were pretty lucky with that in terms of F45. But yeah, the license model, there's not really a whole lot of support, and they don't really systemize anything. You're basically paying them to use CrossFit in your business name, basically. And I mean, they put you on the CrossFit map. So if someone was to search for CrossFit in Google, we would come up as a CrossFit affiliate. So yeah, they both have their benefits. And I found that, running a franchise was very beneficial for me, especially being my first business.
Right. I think we've been working together for about 12 months. Does that sound right? Yeah. And I remember talking to you early in our sort of relationship together and talking about you running these multiple businesses. And I think there was almost a bit of a light bulb moment when you realized that there were more ways to scale than just more geography, more locations, a greater way to scale your business and the impact you were having. Can you talk to me about what caused that realization and what that realization was?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think myself, like I've said, got a bit of an entrepreneurial mindset, and especially, when I opened F45 Biofood, I was 26. So like I had a lot of energy and I wanted to do all these things, and couple that with having a few mentors that were pushing me to open more premises and growing as much as I can. And, throwing COVID in the work, it is really challenging, and to run multiple locations. Like, props off to the people who have multiple things. Personally, I don't think I was ready as a leader, and there's still a lot of skills that I need to learn to be able to do something like that. And yeah, just since working with you, like you've really helped me with my focus and really kind of designing my perfect life. And with a couple of young kids, it turns out that that was not something that I really wanted to do anymore. And I really wanted to focus on the one location, make sure that's yeah, such a good business to run. I really enjoy being in it. I'm really looking after my members in that one location. And like you said, there are other ways to scale without adding, another $80,000 a year lease and having to purchase more equipment and having to have another team running the gym in another location. So I think that was really attractive for me in that point in my life. And yeah, basically wish I found you a couple of years ago, Dad.
Huh. Thank you. Very generous of you. I think something you said there, which is really key, and you said that your focus now has shifted to how can your business exist to better improve your life. And I think that is so key. Our business needs to exist to improve our life in some way, and obviously the lives of the people that we touch as well. But if our business is not making our life better and our business exists purely to be a better business, I think it's missing the mark. Unfortunately, it's something that a lot of people don't realize until they're 65
Yeah.
and they've worked for 4 or 5 decades and they retire and they realize there's not much left. So as a fellow dad of young kids, I can empathize and appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you have come to this realization and had that light bulb moment when you did, because a lot of people either don't get it or get it way too late in life to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just reiterating, like it's super important to have a strong support network and even a mentor around you that you relate to. And I think that's so beneficial, especially when we connected this time last year, I was in a bit of I was definitely in a bit of a rut. Like something wasn't right with me. Like I wasn't happy with the direction of my businesses, and just having you there as support and kind of guiding me and asking the right questions, like, hey, what do you really want out of your businesses? And it really just grounded me, and we set a few goals, and 12 months later, like this is probably the most excited I've been in a long time with my businesses and the way that it's tracking and what we're getting up to. So yeah, definitely recommend if someone's listening to this to find someone to help you out, whether mentorship or getting some support through people. Definitely helps with direction in your business.
It sounds like you took a lot from F45 in terms of learning how to create systems and learning the importance of systems, which of course is a hallmark of the franchise model. It sounds like you got a lot from CrossFit in terms of the styles of training and maybe having a little bit more independence and freedom as to how you run your business. I'd like you to talk about why you decided to firstly unaffiliate from CrossFit and secondly to halt your franchisee relationship with F45. As much good as has come from these two bodies, tell me why you ultimately decided to leave each.
Yep, for sure. So I'll start with CrossFit. So Maddie and I, my manager down at Life's Peachy CrossFit, we sat down and had a chat. CrossFit were increasing their affiliation fee. It was about 30 to 40% increase, and not really any extra support. I mean, the main reason we had the CrossFit affiliation anyway was to it's a little bit easier to have when you do the CrossFit Open for our members, which is only 3 weeks of the year. And we just came to the decision that it's probably best to de-affiliate. And to be honest, it's been 3 or 4 months now. We haven't even noticed any different. The business is still running the same. We've still got an amazing community. We are just not using the CrossFit name. So that was CrossFit. With F45, I've got nothing just bad to say about F45. Like I said, I've learned so much from the F45 system, and I think they really did change the game with group class training. They did really well with their branding. I think when they created F45, they found the best team to help promote F45. Like they had a really good marketer. The branding was really good. They systemized everything in the gym. And I think what they did really well was being able to cater to, it's got its positives and negatives, but being able to cater to a lot of people in the one class at the one time. And I think that just helps out with the business model. And yeah, the support was okay for a little while. And then I won't go into too much detail what I think a lot of the downfall from F45 happened. But yeah, I think they just got too big too soon. They tried to expand into markets that they probably shouldn't have, and they didn't really focus on their core product, which was the training in the gym. And they just tried to branch off into Pilates and training seniors and youth and things like that. And then at the same time, you've got the Yard Fit Stop coming out, which were focusing on the training. And I believe they started creating better product. And yeah, the decision. So we were a 45 franchise for 7 years. So we'd finished our 5-year term. We were 2 years out of our non-compete, and then they were asking us to re-sign for another 5 years, and their prices were increasing. Yeah, just ultimately made the decision to go out on our own and create our own brand.
It sounds like they were exactly what you needed at the right time. And
Yeah.
then when that time came to an end, it was time for you to do your own thing. And I remember we spoke, and this was maybe 4 to 6 months ago. We spoke about what that next step would look like for you. And you were weighing up this decision as to whether to go with a different franchise. And you mentioned a couple of them in your answer then, or whether you start and continue your own brand. Why did you go down the purely independent, starting your own brand route as opposed to jumping to a different franchise?
Yeah. So I had a call with the Yard. It's pretty much strength and conditioning gym coming out, group class training. I've done a fit stop class before, and I've also flown to Queensland to check out a gym called Change. And what I realized is the training, it's all much of a muchness. Like a lot of the training is very similar. Even our training, you probably find 20 plus gyms in Perth that do something similar to us. And then obviously having you working with me, what we realized is that it all comes down to the member experience and also systems. If that's something I was chasing, like I've just been in business for 7 years and I understand how to run a group class training gym. And I think you obviously helped me a lot realize that I don't need another franchise to help me with the systems. I know how to run a team. I know how to run a safe, effective, and fun class, a bunch of other things. So ultimately, it was deciding not to, pay for a territory, not to purchase equipment with particular branding, and not to pay 8% on our revenue to someone else to give me something that I already know. So super happy with the decision that we ultimately came to, and yeah, couldn't be happier where we are right now.
There's something you said there, which was the experience. And you admitted that the training is similar. There's no unique element to that, but it's the experience that's different. And that's the thing that can differentiate you from everyone else. I can't talk to you without asking you about that experience and some of these moments that you've created, because you have created a few things. And there's one thing in particular that you've done, which is very unique, could only be done by a business called Life's Peachy Fit. Can you tell me about that? What am I talking about here, Ben?
Yeah, so we work together on creating a macro journey for our clients. And yeah, you basically asked me to create a step-by-step process on someone signing up to Life's Peachy Fit and how we work through their journey with us from their very first class up to, their 2,000, 3,000 clients. And yeah, basically, I'll just run through one of the things that we do. We decided to, when they hit their 25th class, that we go out, we buy 25 pieces of fruit for them, and we write a handwritten letter. We pass them a fruit box. And yeah, it was just something really cool, and everyone's been loving it so far. It's just a nice gesture. We could have got some flowers for them and said thank you. But I think that, yeah, the fruit's a little bit different, but it's a little bit unique. And basically, we're just thanking them for choosing us to be their health and fitness destination, and just show to them that we do care about them, and we love that they're taking the time out of their day to come down and train with us. So I think that's probably one thing that we're really doubling down on, is the experience that we give our members. And that's the key difference, because that, like I said, there is a lot of similarities with gyms in Australia, and we just want to differentiate ourselves by focusing on the experience that we give our members.
I think at the time I really pushed you to come up with moments and experiences that were remarkable. And if you break down that word, remarkable, things that people are able to remark about. So things that people will tell their friends about. What did you do last week? Oh, I did my 25th class and I got a tray of fruit, a tray of fresh peaches. These are remarkable moments. And I think it's something that you've done really well. And I know this is one of the many remarkable moments. Let's come more into the present now. So you opened up this new facility a couple of months ago. Tell me how many members you had when you first opened the door.
Yeah, so we had the goal of 200. We really wanted to open with 200, and we cracked the 210 with a couple of days to go pre-launch. So we blew that out of the water a little bit, and since then we're sitting at about 230. So
Wow.
like I was saying to you the other day, we're starting to get we're constantly having new people in, leads, 10 to 20 a week. We're having sort of 5 to 10 try a new class every single week. And now we're starting to get the referrals from current members, like telling their neighbors and raving about it, which is really awesome. We hadn't seen that for a couple of years at F45. I'm not sure if we kind of hit the market saturation a little bit. But what I'm seeing now is kind of what I seen back in 2017 when we first opened. We were getting that, the raving about the gym and referral process. So it's really cool to see that sort of hype back again with our gym.
So I know everyone's wondering how you managed to open a new gym with over 200 members. So I should probably ask you about that. Talk me through the pre-launch process that you ran. Because I know we were very deliberate about this, and there was almost a daily task to do from a couple of months out. Talk me through that process of designing that and what the pre-launch looked like for you.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we were lucky in terms that we've only had about 180 active members. And over the years, we had an F45 community, members group, which had over 600 people in the Facebook group, or mostly local people. So we really had a strong strategy around marketing in that group. We also had a database of a few thousand people. So we had an email marketing strategy for our ex-members. And yeah, most of it was, number one, trying to convert our active members over to the new gym, Life's Peachy Fit. We still had to sell, because a lot of people were unsure about the training. So we still had to sell them onto the new gym and new membership. But I definitely think it was a benefit having those active members there. Obviously, we created our new Facebook page, Instagram page. We ran some Facebook ads and lead generation with an opening special. And we had really good success with that, and brought a bunch of new people in as well. So yeah, I think, just doubling down on the members and the database that we already had, and had a massive focus on that.
So you're a couple of months in now, and you mentioned something to me on one of our mentoring calls in the last couple of weeks. And if you're comfortable sharing this, you told me how much your revenue had increased since jumping ship starting this new entity. Is this something you're comfortable sharing with us?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
Talk me through the numbers.
yep, definitely. Yeah. So a lot of people listening, in the fitness industry, it's quite hard to make a buck. Like we've got all these expenses. You got to pay rent, wages, super, and yeah, a bunch of other things. So sometimes it's hard to make 5 to 10% profit. But yeah, I can say that since opening, we're doing about 10 to 12K more than what we were when we were at 45.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then obviously on top of that, we have the franchise fee savings as well. So yeah, off the bat, just in a couple months, where what's that, 130 to 140K a year better off. So it's a pretty good feeling.
It's a non-trivial amount, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, an extra $10,000 to $12,000 a month is, and not to use overuse hyperbole, but that is life changing. I mean, that's an amount that changes how you run your business, how you run your life, correct?
definitely. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. And are there changes in expenditures? Because obviously revenue is great, but at the end of the day, revenue means nothing if expenses have gone through the roof as well. How do your profit margins look? How's the profit?
Yeah. So yeah, before we change over, like the month or two before, we were pretty well breaking even. I mean, like a lot of stuff through the business that helps out personally, and I take a salary from the business as well. So if you add that back, we're probably doing 4 to 5K a month. And yeah, so adding in terms of our expenses now, we've got to focus on having 2 coaches on every class now. So I would say our wages have probably gone up 1 to 2K a month, which turns out to be about the same as what our franchise fee was. So yeah, in terms of profit, yeah, we're about 10K a month more. So it's a really good feeling.
So it sounds like you've taken what that franchisee fee was and reinvested that in the member experience. And by doing so, you're improving retention, you're increasing referrals, and it's really driving the future engine of the business, which I think is very smart.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're seeing.
I think I know the answer to this. Did you make the right decision in leaving F45?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I'm super happy with the decision, and yeah, everyone's loving it, and yeah, I'm super happy with it.
I assume the path that you have been on isn't for everyone. It sounds to me like if you could have designed the business trajectory that you should go on, starting with that franchisee model, learning about business was a smart way to go in your mid-20s. I assume leaving the safety and the systemization of that model is not for everyone. Have you got any closing advice for someone who is currently affiliated with an organization, be it a licensee model like CrossFit, a franchisee model like F45? Any advice to someone who's thinking about jumping ship?
Yeah, I think if you're comfortable with how to run the business, if you're comfortable with all the systems, perhaps have a chat with your members and see and tell them maybe what you're thinking and your situation. And if you're confident that you can leave that organization and either be the same or better off, then I definitely think it's an idea worth exploring. If you're kind of fresh in the fitness industry and you're having success with your organization, yeah, I would suggest stay with them and just immerse yourself in the business side of things and trying to learn as much as possible as quickly as you can. But then it gives you the tools to be able to leave that organization if that's something that you want to do down the track. But yeah, like I said, I learned so much from being in the F45 system, and I'm super grateful for the company as a whole. And I really do wish them well. But I think, nothing lasts forever. And it was just kind of that time where I had to make the decision to leave. And yeah, like I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to go out on my own and create our own brand. And just on that, like, I think we've spoken about this before, that there is something special about creating your own thing. Like, we've got the flexibility to adapt with the industry now where, F45 wasn't able to do that. And because they got so big so quick, you know, it was taking them 1 to 2 years to add in a piece of equipment that we've been, trying to get for so long to try and keep up with all these up and coming franchises. And, if I want to get this brand new piece of equipment that's out now, I can do it tomorrow. So I think definitely got its positives going out on your own, and yeah, super happy with our decision.
If people would like to learn more about the brand you're creating and the experience you're offering with Life's Peachy Fit, where's the best place for them to go? Online, social media, hit me with your contact.
Yep. Yeah. So you can search me on Instagram, just Ben Luckens, flick me a message. I'll reply to everyone. Yeah. I'm super happy. Like, I've spoken with a couple of your clients, Dan, and help them with some marketing stuff. Or you can jump on Life's Peachy Fit Byford. I'm on that page as well. And then, yeah, searching Ben Luckens on Facebook and flick me a messenger. And yeah, happy to answer any questions, or if someone reaches out to you, Dan, please pass them on, and happy to pass on any information.
I think you've got a really good story. And that's why I wanted to have a chat with you about this today. Seeing how you have progressed from mid-20s to now, the evolution your business has gone through and the reason it's been through that evolution. So I think your story so far is very exciting. And knowing you as I do, I know that the rest of your story will be even more exciting. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.